Hare Krishna. Starting in 5 minutes. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Atmananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome again to our ongoing journey of self-discovery, self-realization, following the footsteps of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, our most beloved founder, Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Today, Continuing our adventures in Bhagavad Gita study. Chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. The entire Gita is right here in one chapter. Text number 38, Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 38. Today is the 18th of September, 2022. Broadcasting from Whangarei, North Island, New Zealand, all over the world, and maybe approaching the spiritual world. So we'll chant Jai Radha Madhava briefly, sing along if you like, and then we'll jump straight in to the fathomless knowledge. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari, Jasodanandana Prajana Ranjana, Jasodanandana Prajana Ranjana, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari, Jasodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Jasodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jamunatira Vanachari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Hari Om. Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Radha, Giridhari Radha, Giridhari Radha, Jaya Radha, Giridhari Radha, Giridhari Radha, Jaya Nisinghadev, Jaya Nisinghadev, Nisinghadev, Jaya Nisinghadev, Jaya Nisinghadev, Jaya Nisinghadev, Jaya Nisinghadev, Jaya Nisinghadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya, Astatara Satashri Srimada's Divine Grace of Bhayacharana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jaya Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya, Astatara Satashri Srimada's Divine Grace of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON BBT founder Acharya's Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Premskaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Mathuradam Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So please let us know who you are and where you are. And any realizations or greetings. Please be present with us. Again, we're studying Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. Text number 38. And just to let you know, for our weekly Wednesday evening programs, Bhakti Yoga evenings, Prabhupada Sangha gatherings, we have our textbook has arrived, the original republished, hardback, beautiful, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, unchanged as it is, pure mercy. If there's enough interest from those who are not close by in Whangarei, or even you are, and doesn't work for you to come physically, we can arrange that online as well. Let us know. So please repeat after me. Even if you don't have the hard copy with you, Bhagavad Gita, listen carefully and repeat the best you can. Text 38. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yudhaya yudhyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Please repeat after me. Sukha, happiness. Dukkha, in distress. Same, in equanimity. Kritva, doing so. Labha labho, both in loss and profit. Jaya jaya jayo, both in defeat and victory. Tata, thereafter. Yudhaya, for the sake of fighting. Yudhyasva, do fight. Na, never. Evam, in this way. Papam, sinful reaction. Avapsyasi, you will gain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by so doing, you shall never incur sin. Please repeat. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by so doing, you shall never incur sin. Report. Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting, because he, that's Krishna, desires the battle. There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or gain, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness. That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is transcendental consciousness. So there is no reaction to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in passion, is subject to the reaction, good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor is he a debtor to anyone. as one is in the ordinary course of activities. Now make sure my phone is off, just in case. All right, wrong. Wouldn't want to have any disturbances. It is said, Devarshi bhutaptan rinam pitrinam, nakinkaro nayam rini charajan, sarvat manaya sharanam sharanyam, gato mukundam parihrityakartam. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Canto, Chapter 5, text number 41. Quote, that's the translation of that Bhagavatam verse is, anyone who is completely surrendered unto Krishna, Mukunda, giving up all other activities, all other duties, is no longer a debtor, nor is he obliged to anyone, not the demigods, nor the sages, nor the people in general, nor kinsmen, nor humanity, nor forefathers. End quote. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse. And the matter will be more clearly explained in the following verses. Let us know if you're with us. And if you can hear clearly, if you can see clearly. Of course, on Restream, you may not be able to see me. Actually, you can see me because it's streaming through Zoom to the Krishna Katha YouTube and Facebook pages. So, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Name Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavari Pashtata Disatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a lame man can cross over mountains, and a dumb man can compose eloquent poetry. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by so doing, you shall never incur sin. Prabhupada starts the purport by saying, Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting, because he, Krishna, desires the battle. So until now, Krishna has not concluded his instructions that Arjuna should wake up, acknowledge and accept his real identity as eternal individual spiritual soul, servant of Krishna, and establishing the reality, the truth of the quality of the existence and quality of the every individual soul. I was listening to a lecture of Prabhupada yesterday. He was saying that there are countless, innumerable living entities, and every single one is an individual, eternally an individual. As Krishna says And before this, here in this chapter, previous verses, never was there a time, Arjuna, when you, nor I, nor any of these kings didn't exist. Not only are we eternal, but we're eternally individuals. And Prabhupada was saying in this lecture that every single one of those innumerable, uncountable living entities, trillions and trillions and zillions and zillions, whether they're in a microbe body or they're in an ostrich body or a mango tree body or a grass body or a shark body, countless amoebas, microbes, every single one has an account. Keeping track of what you and I and they have all done and are doing and will do. So imagine the nature of the accounting system and the accountant. Every single one of us, countless, has an account, a record of what we've done and what we're doing perfectly. No mix-ups, no mistakes, no miscalculations. Inconceivable, absolutely inconceivable, the potency of Krishna and the ability of Krishna without effort. Krishna's not doing anything. When we see Prabhupada said, you never see pictures of Krishna with unhappy or overwhelmed with anxiety or overburdened. And yet he's behind everything in every way. Not just the maintenance and the accounting, but the the creation and the destruction, all in perfect timing, and all the planets revolving, all the heat, all the maintenance of every single planet, the life according to the atmosphere, every single planet, everything's being maintained. It's beyond even our imagination, the greatness of Krishna. And here, because Arjuna is such a special soul, we are getting this enlightenment, this opportunity. And in this verse, it's like the ultimate opportunity is being offered, given to us here on a silver platter. And at the end of the purport, Prabhupada says, that is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse. And the matter will be more clearly explained in the following verses. So what is that hint? That if one follows the instruction of this verse, then there's no more obligation. There's no more obligation for anyone who is completely surrendered to Krishna, following the instructions of this verse. No obligation. There's no debt. Certainly one doesn't have to be, if one acts according to this verse, and Krishna says, do thou fight. So we are fighting, and that fight may come in the form of our daily activities, our work, our business, our income creating job, occupation, our activity, whatever it is. And this verse is almost the same as the final instruction of Krishna at the very end of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 66, maybe the most famous verse. Sarvadharma parityajya mam mekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. Krishna says to Arjuna, just surrender unto me and give up all other activities. You do this, and I will protect you from all sinful reaction. Krishna says here, you shall never incur sin. I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Master Chaha, do not fear. We have no obligation to be afraid. There will be no fear, except a transcendental fear, maybe, of forgetting Krishna. As Prabhupada prayed when he had arranged a meeting of the local bankers in Vrindavan to open a branch of the bank there on the premises of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. He prayed to them after the meeting. He prayed to the local Brijbasi bankers for a benediction. He said, please, may I not fall down into Maya, into illusion. So the fully surrendered soul may have some fear, some terror, transcendental terror, which we can imagine, of forgetting Krishna, losing a position. Pure devotee knows we're to tasta shakti, that although it's promised that we won't come back to this material, we won't fall into illusion. Of course, Prabhupada never did. We always have the possibility. We're tasta shakti. We always have the free will, the free choice. Although Prabhupada does say once burned, twice shy. Once we've been here, we've gone back. Spiritual world, we ain't coming back again. No way. That's our clear choice. So this is the highest instruction. Act without considering happiness or distress. Who doesn't consider how they feel? If I'm feeling happy, I'm fine. Everything's great. If I'm feeling sad, distressed, things are not so great. So to be unaffected or unconcerned or even uninfluenced by happiness and distress, that's transcendental. The soul, who is within a material body that gets affected by these things, who is and is unaffected, is beyond, is liberated. On the stage of liberation, there's no duality. Now, whether that's complete liberation or not depends on many things. But someone doesn't consider loss or gain. If I get something or my endeavors are successful or not, it doesn't matter. If in my battles, my daily battle, controlling my mind, beating my mind, being in charge, being fully responsible and free to make my choices. Victory or defeat in our endeavors. So it can be very discouraging to consider how difficult it seems to achieve this level. On the one hand, Prabhupada says in the introduction, and indicates other places, that even if one theoretically accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he or she will advance in Krishna consciousness. That may seem very simple. At the same time, and that may be where we're at, maybe we're just accepting theoretically. At the same time, one who accepts fully, is fully surrendered, these symptoms will arise. You won't consider happiness or distress. It won't matter if you're feeling happy or sad. It won't matter if you win or lose, or you achieve your goals, or you get smashed in trying to achieve them. It won't matter at all. You won't even care. Nasocchati nakanshati. Brahmabhuta prasanatmas. Nasocchati nakanshati. That one on that Brahmabhuta platform, there's no hankering, lamenting. There's no attachment. There's no desire, no hate. And one sees all living entities equally. Equal in happiness and distress, loss or gain. So it can be very discouraging to consider how far it may feel or seem that we're from Krishna. Because if we're householders, if you're a householder, what is the impetus? How are you feeling about ensuring that you're fulfilling your material obligations, so-called material obligations? If you're committed to a job, whether you like it or not, an occupation activity, in order to bring in funds to pay the bills, to maintain the wife or the family and the children, the spouse, whoever's bringing the funds, the breadwinner, maybe it's both spouses, to do that. Can you imagine working without caring whether you get your pay? That's outrageous. Many of us wouldn't even do the job. We wouldn't go to that work so attentively and rigidly and punctually if that reward wasn't there. So how in relation to this verse am I doing my work without considering loss or gain? No. We consider the gain. That's the whole reason why we're doing the work. Not that we shouldn't work, not we shouldn't be active, but how can we possibly maintain, live in this world, have relationships, and not be interested in the gain? So from the beginning, at least till now, Arjuna's been challenging Krishna your suggestion, Krishna, is ridiculous, completely impractical. So if I look at this verse and I think about it realistically in relation to my work, I want to win. I want to have good health. I want to be peaceful and happy. So we may see, well, I'm so far from achieving this standard. It's not only unreasonable or impractical, it's impossible. It seems impossible. So we read these verses, and if we really go into them, we may become very discouraged. We may say, forget this, close the Bhagavad Gita. And many people do. And yet, because of the mercy in the form of the explanations, the written ecstasies, the purports by Srila Prabhupada and his lectures, his talks, his darshans, his morning walks, his lectures, especially here in his books, he's giving us the understanding of the process for coming to this stage. If we think just automatically, because I'm chanting Hare Krishna, or I'm associated with devotees, or I'm offering my food, or doing any combination of these things, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting bhajans, studying and discussing, that we're automatically transcendental, then we're in trouble. Because it's not automatic. What is automatic is that if we struggle to be transcendental, according to the instructions of the spiritual master, in disciplic succession, we will get Krishna's help. Radharani's there. Hare Krishna. Radha Krishna. Oh my Lord, oh energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. Radharani, if our endeavor is there, yayatamam prapadyante. Krishna says that as they surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. So Krishna's committed, not that he has to, but he wants to. He wants to give us freedom. He wants to make us transcendental, or to help us revive our transcendental, uncover our transcendental nature. He understands exactly where we're at. It's not a problem for him whether we're far, far away, because our endeavor brings us close to him. He loves that. He appreciates that. He values our little endeavor. Even a little endeavor on this path will save us from the greatest fear of taking birth again in the material world, of falling into illusion. Prabhupada says, my only complaint about my disciples is that, well, I'm not sure he said only. He said, your problem is you're not afraid of Maya. You're not afraid of Maya. Yes, I understand that very well. Therefore, I find it easy to become complacent and think, oh, everything's fine now. I'm okay. I'm all right, Jack. We're never all right. And those who are advanced, to be pure devotees, they're always thinking, where is Krishna? Prabhupada said the six Goswamis didn't go around saying, oh, we saw Krishna last night, or we watched the rasa dance. No, they were always saying, where is Krishna? Where is Radha? Where is Krishna? Where are the gopis? Are they there on the bank of Jamuna? Are they at Govardhan? What are they doing? Where are they? Always in the mood of finding, searching, because they were never satisfied. So Krishna that's what's automatic, Krishna's mercy, because he's promised it. Not that it's automatically guaranteed because we want it or that we can control it, but because Krishna wants it. Therefore, he commits himself, and he's waiting for our increased, gradual, or fast, quick effort, progress, based on our struggle. So if we really understand what Krishna is saying, yes, we can see how far we are from what he's asking. If this is pretty much the same as the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita, that we should surrender everything. Krishna is saying that. Fight, Arjuna, without considering anything, any happiness or distress, whether you get the kingdom or you don't, whether you lose or win. You may lose, but fight for me. Remember me and fight. That's all that's required. I'm saying that's all. That's everything. Remembering Krishna and doing it for Krishna. So if we're realistic, we can say, this is too hard, Krishna. This is impossible. And yet, the trick is, the secret is that when we're in a mood of surrender, humble submission, and crying out for the help for Krishna, then the impossible, everything changes. The impossible becomes possible, and much more than possible. Because we're connected, because if we take shelter and adjust our lives, we do our work according to the instructions of the spiritual master, and so many instructions are there. Prabhupada talks about the two kinds of dharma, two kinds of swadharma. He says, until we're living, and this is described in this very chapter. It's all here. The first, unless we are liberated, we engage according to our material propensities. For us, karma yoga. We learn how to give up the activities for Krishna while not giving up, we learn how to give up the results of the activities for Krishna. Or doing everything that you do, everything that you eat, everything that you collect or give away should be done as an offering to me. Prabhupada talks, so that's Swadharma until we're liberated, and then Swadharma after liberation becomes pure transcendental activity. So wherever we are, we can engage according to our propensities, and that is Varnashram. Many people think that Varnashram is just an idea, some far away, maybe someday goal, but generally people are doing, working, acting according to their natural propensity. Someone is good at farming and taking care of cows. They'll be attracted to that, and ideally adjusting their lives. It's like we're starting this Krishna Village project. We've practically got this beautiful property up here in Northland as to use to build a self-sufficient, at least moving towards self-sufficiency, intentional, rural, Krishna-centered, Prabhupada-centered village. We're in the process of doing that now. And anyone who is good at taking care of land, we had James and Cecilia up here recently, giving us so much practical advice about measures of rainfall, what kind of hooves that horses or alpacas or cows have in terms of protecting the land or destroying the ground itself or destroying it, and the sloping of the land and the water connections. Good areas for building or for grazing. And of course, the vastu. One of the main things for this property is that the vastu is excellent. You can feel it when you go there. So Varnashram is going on already. Whether we're acting, working according to our own natural propensities, they are there. So someone is good at farming or protecting cows. They'll be attracted to doing that. Someone is attracted to medical knowledge. They can learn to be a health practitioner, help the devotees take care of their bodies. Someone is inclined to teach, to discuss, to explain, to study and understand and explain Prabhupada's books or any other literature that may be helpful. We want to establish a very nice Ratha Yatra festival. We need to have a cart, and someone needs to be able to build the cart, knowing about axles and brakes and timber and construction and design and engineering, all these things, all the details. So we study Prabhupada's books, and we study anything else that's helpful for applying what we're reading in Prabhupada's books. So Varnashram is always there. Prabhupada is always there, even in so-called communist country where they say this is classless. It's nonsense. Someone is managing. Someone is doing the legwork, the physical labor. Someone is in the schools teaching. Someone is in the kitchen cooking. Someone is taking care of the children. Someone is cleaning. Someone is doing business or creating some income, whether it's called business or not. People are working for some result to maintain the body and the society. So that's also described in this, what is it, 31, verse 31, purport? Yes, very nice paragraph here at the end of the purport of text 31. There are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of that particular body in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and is not in the bodily concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Carrying out our prescribed duties is unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashram Dharma. So until we're liberated, Varnashram Dharma is there, or it's called also man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Varnashram is a system set up by which everyone in society, whatever their position, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, they will be elevated in spiritual realization, in Krishna consciousness. Man's stepping, that means all types of men, man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashram Dharma. So it's from the lowest to the highest. Varnashram is the level at which human society begins. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashram Dharma, where specific duties in terms of the specific modes of nature of the body obtained. Discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with Varnashram Dharma serves to elevate one to a higher status of life. So it may seem very discouraging that when Krishna gives us this ultimate instruction, do it without any concern for anything, no attachment. And yet Krishna at the same time gives us a system by which we can come to that stage. Varnashram. So whatever you do, then consider that is a part of Daivi Varnashram, and Krishna is noticing, and he, in one sense, he is taking us out of the material conception, even by doing our particular duties. That's the magic of Krishna consciousness. We do something according to our material modes, according to our so-called material situation, even to take care of the paying the bills and maintaining the family, which seems mundane, but it becomes transcendental because our goal is for Krishna. Prabhupada said you can even work in a factory and be Krishna conscious. So, welcome. 2 questions, 2 points. What to do if that fear of Maya and her incredible power makes us fearful of breaking out of our conditioning and paralyzes us? The fear of Maya and her incredible power. Right. So it sounds like you're contrasting the two kinds of fear, or it's almost like, yeah, so you're asking if the fear of Maya is restraining, is paralyzing us, then what do we do? Good question. Maybe you could offer some thoughts yourself or anyone else who's with us today. What to do if that fear of Maya and her incredible power makes us fearful of breaking out of our conditioning and paralyzes us? So the fear of Maya is an impetus to surrender more to Krishna. That's what that fear is about. It should become an impetus so that we're afraid of being an illusion, which is characterized by fear of what you're saying, breaking out of our conditioning and paralyzing. So if we're actually afraid of, then we can test ourselves. If we're actually afraid of Maya, that will enthuse us, inspire us, attract us, push us to look at the mundane fear. Because being afraid of Maya is not a mundane fear. Being surrender to Maya, to being attracted to Maya, that is mundane. Or fear of surrendering to Krishna, that I might lose, I won't get everything. What is the last of the 10 offenses? To maintain material attachments, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name, and to maintain, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after hearing so many instructions on this matter. Why is this such an important offense? Because when we see our attachments, then we may realize that we're afraid of surrendering because we're going to lose the thing we're attached to. The mundane comfort, opulence. It's like I'm challenged to go live in a simple Krishna-based rural community. Because I may not have all the mod cons I'm attached to. So I think it's important to distinguish, first of all, that there's two kinds. You're talking about two kinds of fear. Because the first fear, being afraid of falling into illusion, being overwhelmed by Maya, by continuing to be surrendered to my mind, that becomes an impetus to give up the fear of surrendering to Krishna, which is paralyzing. We lock ourselves up. We put ourselves in a straitjacket if we maintain the second fear, which is manifest in and not having complete faith in the holy name and in maintaining those attachments. Probably lots more, and I'd like your comments. The second question is, incredible to hear about the self-sufficiency project. Thank you. How will the devotees be kept enthused and on track with this project? We have seen too many examples of failed ISKCON land projects. Many of us are city trained also. How to adjust? Very good question. I mean, these are big questions, deep and important questions. Yeah. First of all, how will we keep ourselves enthused? So my first thought is, I mean, enthusiasm is one of the 6 things described by Rupa Goswami, by which pure devotional service is guaranteed. Utsahan nishchayat dariyat, that enthusiasm must be there. So how do we maintain enthusiasm, spiritual enthusiasm, and to keep ourselves on track with the project? Because there's so many deviations, as you say, so many times devotees have had the idea, and it's Prabhupada's idea, to have land-based, cow protection-based rural communities, self-sufficient communities. He said it's necessary as things are already falling apart. Buddhimanta Prabhu was telling me the other day, he went to the market, and one single cabbage was like $7. One little old cabbage was $7. So things are already falling apart. So it's obvious that what Prabhupada has been telling us is important. He said, establish Krishna conscious, self-sufficient communities in urgency. And we were feeling some of this urgency to carry on with our Krishna Village project. And so in order to maintain, because to start something is easy. To stop something is also easy, but to maintain and continue, how will we remain enthused in order to continue the yajna, the austerity of making sure it continues? And well, one thing we're talking about now is how to govern, how we make decisions together, and we've already made huge advancement, seeing the example of other communities that are already successful and have been going on for a long time, like Earth Song in Henderson, outside of Henderson, in Auckland, Findhorn, many, some communities, not necessarily Krishna conscious based, but who have maintained. So now we've already gone over time. So the base, for me, the first answer to how we'll remain enthused is to maintain strong spiritual program, not just personal sadhana, but coming together for a regular morning program and study and discussion, and then have outreach going on, developing relationships with the neighbors, going to local villages and having Harinam, getting out and getting away from the immediate restriction. So that's two things I'm thinking of, 2 or 3 things I'm thinking of. And also because we're city trained, we're not used to it. Like I was saying, I'm not used to living in the country. I've done it in Kadikadi. We lived almost 3 years off the grid, but I haven't maintained that. So that's a learning curve, a huge learning curve for me. And maybe because my body's a little older, I won't be pioneer in that, and there'll be some adjustments on the way without compromising. Big questions. Thank you so much. How to adjust? How to adjust? Because transcendentally, we know, oh, we can do anything. And at the same time, if I don't consider the reality of my material situation, I may trip myself up and cause problems long term. So, Krishna promises, you shall never incur sin. So what is sin? Sin is karmic reaction. Do not fear, Krishna says. So we give up our fear, the mundane fear of surrendering, of losing the attachments, the fulfillment of our mundane desires. Krishna says, don't let that fear go. And how do we do that? Param Drishva Nivartante, by experiencing a higher taste. One can be fixed, even though the tendency to gratify the senses is there. That's always going to be there. So thank you everyone for being with us. Any other comments or questions? You can post them now or later. Others can see and consider. By asking serious questions, thoughtful questions, that stimulates others to think and go further and look at the reality of what we're trying to, of what Prabhupada is saying, and giving us the opportunity to go beyond our limitations and our mundane fears, and develop the real fear. Because the more we suffer, and being disgusted with the material world is practically necessary for giving it up. And therefore the fear develops that, I've allowed myself to slip up so many times. I don't want that anymore because I just suffer, especially with an older body like this one. Suffering is more obvious and apparent. And right there, can't be avoided. Janma karma. Birth, death, old age and disease, jara, vyadi. All right, that's us for now. Thank you all again. Hope to see you next week. And join us for our weekly Wednesday evening programs here in Whangarei if you're local. And keep on chanting. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, Bev. Hare Krishna. Let us now offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees and can fulfill the desires of everyone, who are full of compassion for the fallen, conditioned souls. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.